coming at your TV, we're coming at your computer screen, your phone. We're even on the regular TV, on channels out there in some countries. So we'd like to thank all of you for joining us out here. I'm your host, Cam McCall, alongside racing expert with 15 years of experience on the World Cup downhill circuit, Andrew Needling. Andrew, what event do we have on our hands today?
Well, it's the pump track, but the track is pretty unique. It's almost like a float trail, almost like a slalom like we had yesterday. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. Is it going to help different riders excel?
No, it should be good, and there's a lot on the line. So to have a unique course out here, we're going to be crowning some world champions. And we're also going to be awarding some very valuable points for the King and Queen overall standings. We're taking a look at the current standings right now for the King of Crankworx.
Well, look at top, it's Mitch Ropolata. But what's interesting is Adrian Long, he is in the matchup tonight. But Mitch Ropolata, he's gone out early already, so we're not even going to see him in the matchups tonight.
So what that means is if you crunch the numbers, you know we're giving away a prize out here today. Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Champion will be crowned, and it's going to be one of these two men right here, two Frenchmen. Polar opposite approaches out here. On the left side of your screen, that was Adrian Leroux. Right side was Thomas Lemoyne. If you look at the standings, you see those two names at the very top of the list. How many points do they have, Andrew?
Well, Thomas Lemoyne, 160, and he's tied with Aileen Leroux. They've gone a win apiece this season. So it's all to play for tonight, Cam. Like we said, one of them won the first round. He came back. Another one won the second. But tonight, it's all to play for the series.
And one big reason why we're focusing so hard on those top two names is because the gentleman in third place, that guy right there, Keegan Wright, he was racing dual slalom last night, and this happened.
Well, Keegan Wright was on form. He was on pace. But a big mistake from him. He would go down. He did put his name in the hat. He came out. He qualified in pump track. But he's gone out early, so he's not going to be able to mass any points and put any pressure on Adrian or Thomas Lemoyne.
So you got to imagine he's still a little bit sore from that massive crash just yesterday. That's why his name is absent from our RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge brackets here. Take a look at who qualified first up there at the top of the list there, Andrew.
Well, we've seen him at our events before from the BMX background. Tommy Zula, he's in #1 qualification spot. But Kyle Strait, Bas van Steenberg. Let's look at these names. Thomas Slavic, Austin Warren, and then down the bottom, Adrian Leroux. So we've got some heavy hitters here tonight.
All right, so we talked a lot about this course. We said that it's pretty unique. We talked a little bit about Thomas Lemoyne because he could be your world champion at the end of today. Let's throw a camera on his head and show you this course. Check out this course preview.
This is the RockShox Pump Track Challenge. It's exciting this year because the course is side by side all the way, so that's going to be cool to watch. And follow me for the GoPro cruise preview. First line going a bit uphill, so you have to push hard onto the 180 tight firm. Second line going a bit downhill, easier. Shark fin, that's going to be a technical one for the race. And the last line going uphill again to kill your legs. This is it for your GoPro cruise preview of the RockShox Pump Track Challenge. This is going to be an exciting one to race on. Can't wait to try my best on it.
So we talked about it. Now you saw it firsthand there from Thomas Lemoyne. A very unique course, and you notice there's two tracks. If you're new to pump track racing, let's break down the format, Andrew.
Well, it's a unique format. There are no chains allowed. You need a minimum of 26-inch wheels. We put them at the top. They have a time trial qualified format that seeds them. Then there's 2 runs on those 2 different courses. We add the times together, and obviously the lowest time will advance into those brackets. We're going to see the top 16 men tonight and the top 8 women. There we have it. Last year, Cheney Gannett, he was your world champion, as well as Jill Kittner. Both those men and women, they will be in this field.
So you see there the 2018 champ for the women's category, Jill Kittner. I mean, she's thought to be unbeatable out here on these pump track races. She's been absent from the first 2 competitions, and that woman right there on the left side of your screen, Keilani Hines, she's undefeated for the 2019 season. But look who's back, Andrew.
Well, there you have it. The undisputed queen of pump track. She's got something like 10 or 11 wins just in pump track. So it's an unbelievable record she has here. She's back. And Jill Kittner, last night in slalom, it was like she never left. But she's only qualified in 3rd position, Cam, so it'll be interesting to see how much track speed she has as the night progresses.
All right, so the stage is set, a lot on the line, a lot of different scenarios we have going here. Let's do some predictions. I want to give you guys out there one guarantee and one surprise. I'll kick things off with my guarantee. This is my guarantee. I'm a big Thomas Lemoyne fan, so I'm going to say Thomas Lemoyne is going to win the race here today and win his first Pump Track Challenge World Championship. That's what I'm going for.
That is a big call, but I can almost back you on that. It'd be nice to see if he could do it.
All right, so that was my guarantee. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here, Andrew. What is a surprise you predict from the competition today?
Well, we spoke about Jill Kittner. She's back in the race. I think my surprise will be that Kalani Hines has the confidence to beat Jill Kittner fair and square in this race tonight, which she hasn't done before.
Well, an undefeated season. She obviously has reason to be confident. She grew up idolizing Jill Kittner. Jill Kittner, of course, with X Games medals from BMX racing. And this would be actually all of Keilani Hines' wildest dreams coming true if she's able to beat Jill Kittner. So I like your surprise. We'll be able to stick around and see if that might happen. Looking forward to it. A lot on the line out here. 3rd member of our team, you haven't heard from her yet. Let's send it down to Michaela Gatto for an update. Michaela?
All right, I'm here with Bubba Warren. Brand new racetrack this year, A to B. Tell me a little bit about it.
First time finally getting to see your competitor right next to you the whole time, so it's actually pretty sweet. But let's go to the track. First straight, it's kind of uphill. Rolls are really long. We're used to kind of more steep, like Innsbruck, kind of short. But this year, it's long. The track's a little longer than last year, but still really tiring because you're working for it on this track. And the next corners are the inside right is really tight. So it's actually, if you get that corner right, you're going to be dialed for the whole run. And then outside, you're just railing it, and then you carry more speed on the left. So I personally think the left is faster, and the right's a little slower. But the cool thing is, I mean, the shark fins are amazing, but they don't really have a catch landing. So you might see some mess ups there. That's going to be the depending point. If you get those 2 corners in the last turn, is really going to depend on the race there. So it's going to be a battle. These rollers are long, and hope to conquer the win, hopefully. I really hope so.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Michaela. Well, if you joined us yesterday for dual slalom, you recognized Austin Warren. He was your top qualifier. He wasn't able to take the win yesterday. He came very close. He was actually our 4th qualifier out here today, and that's why he'll be going up against Thomas Slavic there in that 4th bracket. But look, very top. That's our #1 qualifier there, Tommy Zula.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how his speed progresses as the rounds go on, because a lot of guys often qualify a little bit lackluster. Someone like Thomas Lemoyne's not the fastest qualifier, but when it comes down to racing and the pressure, he performs.
Well, there you go. Those are your contenders. That's your track. Stick with us. More racing action coming up. Yes, race fans, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The racers are making their way to the gate. The crowd has assembled here in this amphitheater-like setup for this amazing pump track course here. We're going to crown some champions. This is the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge, and it starts right now.
Jill Kidner stomps her authority once again.
Nikolai Rogakin wins the Triple Crown of slopestyle. The king of Crankworx, Sam Blankensob. There it is. It's time to hand out some World Championship titles here. Final stop of the Crankworx World Tour, and this is the final pump track race of the season. What a cool course we have on hand here. Of course, this race is taking place where it all started here, right on the middle of the Boneyard slope. You see the slopestyle course in the background. That will be Saturday, but today it's all about pump track. There's your brackets. Andrew touched on it a little bit earlier, but this is right elimination style out here. Two-run format. You switch courses when you make it back up to the top of the hill for your second run. And our first heat is loaded up in the gate right now. We're going to kick things off with the men. Your number one qualifier there on the left side of your screen, that is Tommy Zula. He'll be going up against Duke Millington. That's impressive seeing Tommy Zula. We've seen him at Crankworx events in the past, but not the guy that you would expect to qualify first. So he looks to be on top form here in 2019.
So Zula coming off a third place at the National Championship in slalom. So this format and this course design might help him. He's from the BMX background, so he will be quick in the rollers, and now he's getting used to slalom as well.
There we go. Tommy Zula through the line, defending that first place qualification result. 0.18 ahead of Duke Millington. And man, I mean, we're kind of talking about it a lot, but it's because we're so impressed by this course build. It's almost like a chainless slalom race out there.
Yeah, we're loving it up here in the booth. We've heard from the riders they like it. It is a challenge for them. It's something different, something new. Kyle Straight, veteran of the sport. Bas van Steenbergen, no slouch on a pump track himself. So Kyle Straight, he'll be angry. He had a malfunction on his bike yesterday in slalom, so we did not see him in the heat.
Yeah, he actually had a broken chain, so too bad that didn't happen a day later. You don't need the chain out here. Look at that, Bas van Steenbergen crossing the line 0.07 of a second ahead of Kyle Straight. No doubt that was a tight matchup there. Kyle qualified 9th, Bas qualified 8th. You expect them to be an even matchup.
So for the viewers at home, we are going to re-rack those two and swap lanes. But before that, look at these two, Cal.
Oh, this is interesting. Two riders who have one thing in common. They launched their names on the Crankworx World Tour earlier this year. Billy Meeklem on the left side of your screen. He kicked things off in New Zealand by going up against the man himself, Martin Soderstrom, knocking Martin out of the final round in speed and style, taking the win. And we all scratched our heads and said, who's this kid, Billy Meeklem?
Yeah, he went from an unknown to the known rider in speed and style. So Billy Meeklem, we're seeing him here. He's got some factory support. He's looking the part. What about Matthew Sterling, a junior, and he knocked out big name after big name in the slalom back in Innsbruck.
So two young kids who launched their careers on the Crankworx World Tour this year, facing up against each other, and only one can survive. Billy Meeklem qualified 5th. Matt Sterling qualified 12th. It's all about this head-to-head matchup right here.
So no chains, no pedaling allowed. It's all up to the rider to gain momentum and pump those rollers. It's all about not touching a brake before that berm as well. We heard how tight the inside berm is. See, here we go. Billy Meeklem a little bit back, but we are hearing that the left lane is potentially a little bit quicker, so we will be keeping an eye on that throughout the evening, Cam.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be subtle. We're seeing 2 back-to-back runs with less than 1/10 of a second separating the 2 riders. I think we're in for a treat tonight in the form of tight racing. Billy Meeklem and Matt Sterling, we'll get them back up to the top of the course. But next heat, loaded up in the gate. Thomas Slavic on the left side of your screen. It looks like Austin Warren on the right.
The number 4 qualifier for Austin Warren, Thomas Slavic. He was back in 13th. Not something we'd expect to see from Thomas.
Thomas Slavic, a former king of Crankworx. It's got to be so strange to gate start with no chain.
Yeah, your brain is so used to putting pressure on those pedals, especially someone like Thomas Slavic. I mean, he's done hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of gate starts in his life. So that'll play into Austin's favor. If it was down to pure horsepower, Thomas would definitely have Austin covered. Look at him, Austin looking good. He will take the lead into the next heat.
0.21 between these two. Austin Warren gets the advantage. Austin Warren qualified first yesterday in slalom, didn't take the win, so you know he's looking for a little redemption out here today. Anytime you have that #1 qualifier next to your name, you feel like it's your race to win. Well, speaking of winning, we got a guy in the gate right now who's no stranger to winning, Cheney Gunet, on the left side of your screen, going up against another underdog Cinderella story, Jacob Jewett, who, if I remember correctly, knocked out Mitch Ropalato. Was it Mitch that he knocked out in the earlier rounds?
It was indeed. So a reigning Pump Track Challenge world champion, Cheney Gunet, qualifying in 3rd position. He's not in the series running this year, but can he take a win tonight? Can he upset some of these guys that have qualified faster than him?
So Jacob Jewett, local young gun out here, putting a 1/4 of a second on the former champ there, Cheney Gunet. How impressive.
So Jacob Jewett, has he got some confidence after taking down Mitch Ropalato, who's a former winner himself? Will he gain some more track speed as these rounds progress?
So, guy on the right side of your screen right there, we were talking about him until we were blue in the face at the top of the show. Thomas Lemoyne has a chance to win the Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Championship. He's got to get past Neil Bensink.
So what a fun format. These riders are head-to-head, and they're next to each other for a change. Normally the formats had them going in opposite directions. Now you can see where your competitor is. Thomas Lemoyne. Whoa, looking a bit sluggish and making a mistake there.
A slight bobble at the 11th hour for Thomas Lemoyne. And now we see him 1/10 of a second behind Niels Bensink. We're going to have to take a look back at that replay. It looked like Thomas Lemoyne was going to sail through that finish line with the lead. Something happened, and there you go. That's what 1/10 of a second looks like in pump track racing. It's an appropriate motto on the back of his jersey for tonight.
So not all lost for Thomas. He's got another chance. He's going to swap lanes. Only 1/10 of a second for him to make up.
So Luca Cometti against Elliott Jackson here. 2 American riders. Only one can survive.
Luke is a bit of a danger man, qualified in 7th position, but he has had good fortune in pump tracks before. Elliott Jackson, the fun-loving giant rider out of the USA. Wow, he's got the lead here.
Elliott Jackson crossed the line first by 0.13. Both smiling. That's some friendly competition right there, but you know both of them would love to advance into that round of 8. Now, we keep talking about the king and queen of Crankworx. There's a man who has won the king of Crankworx in the past. What exactly are we talking about? Take a look at this. It's a 3-stop tour. We kick things off in Rotorua, New Zealand. Second stop was in Innsbruck, Austria. Now, at all of these Crankworx festivals, we have a ton of disciplines. All the riders are free to sign up for as many disciplines as they want. And if they finish high enough, they'll earn some very valuable points. At the end of the 3-stop World Tour, the man with the most points will be the king. The woman with the most points will be the queen. Last year, the king's crown went to Sam Blankenstop. Queen crown to Jill Kintner. Jill Kintner sat out the first couple events this year, racing a little enduro instead of doing the Crankworx World Tour. But right now, the current leader of the king of Crankworx overall standings is Mitch Ropolato. He's been on a tear out here at the final stop. Via Verbeek is leading things out for the women. She's got quite the lead. She's hoping to be able to lock up that queen title before we're done with events here. The final stop in Whistler. But Adrian Lerone has a chance to not only add some points for that king title hunt, but he would love to be the Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Champion, but he's going to have to beat Thomas Lemoyne in the event today because they have the same amount of points. Adrian Lerone going up against Gauthier Jung.
So Adrian, a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He is the former winner of this series, so he knows what to do. He's got the experience. He's got to make it through a few rounds before he can start relaxing. So good lead for Adrian Lerone. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, that is the maximum differential right there. So you said it, great run for Adrian Lerone. What I mean by that, the most you can win by is 1.5 seconds. So if there's a penalty, 1.5 will get added to your time, but you can't lose by more than 1.5. So Gauthier Jung will have to get back up there, switch sides, and try to beat Adrian Lerone by more than that max differential. All right, next heat in the gate here. We're picking things up the way we started them. This is our first bracket now, going for their second run. Tommy Zula has the advantage of 0.18.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So there we have it. Tommy Zula with a little bit of an advantage here. He's got to just keep his wheel ahead here. There you go. Wow. Formidable win there. So he's going to knock Duke Millington out. The Aussie will be going home early today. Tommy Zula doing exactly what he needs to progress through the rounds.
Tommy Zula, of course, your #1 qualifier, moving through to the round of 8. But we're back up to the top of the course now. They've switched sides. I'm talking about Bas van Steenbergen on the left of your screen and Kyle Straight on the right. The deficit, a small one, 0.07 of a second, held by Bas van Steenbergen here.
So really nothing to play for all up to this run. Basically can cancel that first run out. Kyle Straight, he is behind. So how motivated, how angry is Kyle Straight after that slalom mishap yesterday? Kyle Straight looking good. Wow, running wide there. Can he keep it together?
Kyle Straight almost thrown it away, but he will advance out of that round. Look at that. Kyle Straight completely losing traction with that rear wheel and that left-hand berm. It looked like he almost put the rear tire over the berm for a second. So that was a great save by Kyle Straight. Let's take a look at that save I'm talking about right now. It's toward the end of the race. Kyle's coming into this left-hand berm that ends in a satellite dish. He landed a little bit high, losing traction. So great composure there, holding on, putting 0.27 on Bas van Steenbergen. He only needed more than a 0.07. Bas van Steenbergen, done day. All right, back up to the start here. Matt Sterling has 0.06 of a second to make up behind Billy Meeklum. This is our battle of the rookies here. First year of both of these riders' Crankworx careers, and only one can survive. Matt Sterling behind by 0.06 of a second.
Oh, so look at it, neck and neck here.
Oh! Matt Sterling makes it happen there. And advancing into the round of 8, Billy Meeklum will call it a day. Matt Sterling winning that dual slalom race in Innsbruck, stop number 2. He proved yesterday was no fluke. We saw him in the very late rounds of dual slalom, and now he's advancing into round 6 here in Pump Track Challenge. But Austin Warren, your 4th place qualifier, going up against Thomas Slavic, quali in the 13th position. But none of that matters anymore. It's 0.21. That's what Thomas Slavic has on his mind, because that's what he needs to upset here in this run. Austin Warren with the advantage.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
So focus, both of these riders. Yes, those qualification numbers are like the age. They're but a number here tonight. It's all about beating your competitor that's right next to you. So Austin Warren has some time to play with it. A mistake from Thomas Slavic. Austin Warren will advance.
Well, it's not often you see Thomas Slavic getting eliminated during the round of 16, but Austin Warren has been on point this season, especially the last couple days.
Yeah, Austin Warren really has looked good in slalom. He couldn't quite get the job done, but that was Mitch Ropalata just rode out of his skin. Austin Warren looking strong here tonight.
And here's this big story we have developing here. Cheney Gunet, a man who's no stranger to the top step of the podium here, as we look back to 2017, where we saw Cheney Gunet take his first pump track win on the Crankworx World Tour. He went on to be the world champion in this discipline here on the Crankworx World Tour last year. But now he's going up against Jacob Jewett, who won run number 1, has the advantage. The local boy, young gun, Cheney Gunet, with 1/4 of a second to make up.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
So Cheney Gunet on that left lane, riders left, looking like the faster lane so far tonight. So can he pull back 0.25? Jacob looking good though, he is committed. Oh, big mistake.
Whoa.
So that is an upset for the books. Jacob Hewitt, he has forced a mistake from Cheney Gunet.
Well, that was confusing. We're definitely going to have to look back at a replay for that. It looked like Cheney just stopped. I almost thought that Jacob was the one who made the mistake.
I think Jacob, you're totally right. I think Jacob made a bit of a bobble out of this turn. So Jacob's made a bobble,
and then
but Cheney Gunet's run wide and he's gone off track.
There
wow,
we go.
so throwing it away after Jacob made a sluggish mistake in that turn. Well, you got to be in the race to win the race. And Jacob Hewitt is having a good evening so far.
Man, look at this, Jacob Jewett. Now he will face off against the winner of this next heat, which is between Niels Bensing and Thomas Lemoyne. So a lot of action here. Thomas Lemoyne with all the pressure on his shoulders now. He's got to make up a 0.1 second. Now we see him in a lot of different disciplines out here, but we always see him on this same bike. His weapon of choice, the hardtail, one brake. And he says this about riding one bike. He likes to use it for pump track, speed and style, and slope style. And he bases that choice on the tricks he likes to do and the fact that he doesn't like running a front brake. Here's a closer look of that bike right there. A very simple setup. Probably the most complicated thing on that bike is the fact that he has a rear brake detangler, gyro type of device to make it so he doesn't have to count his bar spins and tail ups. Of course, he's running the RockShox Pike here for the Pump Track Challenge. You got to imagine it is as stiff as you could possibly make that fork right now, because it's all about generating speed down the downsides of these rollers. I'm curious to see if he changes his setup at all between events, or if he just keeps it all continuous. But right now, he's got 1/10 of a second to make up if he wants to be the world champion. Niels Bensing leading the charge going into this run number 2.
So Thomas Lemoyne, a man of few words. He lets his riding speak for himself, ever stylish, It's so quick in this pump track discipline. Looking good so far, but he needs to get going.
I don't think it's going to happen. 0.06, just 0.04 of a second are what are going to...
Wow, that is huge for the overall title here tonight. So Thomas Lemoyne, I mean, he is out.
His hopes dashed by 0.04 of a second. Niels Bensink, the spoiler. I mean, Adrien Lerone probably has a gigantic smile on his face somewhere right there. Well, my prediction guarantee just completely fell apart.
Yeah, it is guaranteed that you are absolutely wrong, but man, as much as you are disappointed, we know how disappointed he is off to the showers already.
Well, he's got speed and style tomorrow and slope style on Saturday, but let's take a look at why his hopes at a Pump Track World Championship are no longer.
Look, nothing visually that stands out. He was composed through the middle section, but Niels Bensink just had a lot of speed through that last straight.
Just a fair race right there. I mean, the reason why I was saying Thomas Lemoyne was going to win this race was because it's very rare we see him make a mistake, and in this scenario, he didn't make a mistake. It just was a matter of, tight racing.
So that's 2 upsets in a row. On paper, those guys did not qualify as fast as their competitor, but they have made it through these rounds. So Jacob Hewitt will be against Niels Bensink in the round of 8.
Expect the unexpected out here at the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. Right now, Elliott Jackson, the American, going up against Luca Cometti, the American. 0.13 separating these two riders. Elliott Jackson with the advantage.
So let's keep an eye on it. Luca Cometti, he should be in that fast lane. Wow, Elliott was good to that tight right-hander. That's the key
Luca
to this race. Oh, running wide there, Elliott, losing a bit of momentum.
With this course layout, every time you're on the lane that has the inside berm, you rocket ship to the lead. But in that final corner, the rider who's on the rider's left side just always seems to take the advantage in the last straightaway. All right, so Thomas Lemoyne left the building, eliminated from competition. Adrien Lerone looking pretty good right now. Now Austin Warren is down there with 54 less points than Thomas Lemoyne. So we'll continue to crunch the numbers right here. But Adrien Lerone, all game face here, not celebrating anything quite yet. He has a bit to celebrate right now though, because Gautier Jung is trying to come back from a maximum differential of 1.5. Adrien Lerone definitely doing his job today so far.
So he can almost guarantee himself this title if he can make it through this round into the final 8, because Thomas Lemoyne has gifted him. So Thomas Lemoyne, he is out. Adrien Lerone, he's got a 1.5 second advantage. Looks like he's riding pretty conservatively, making a little bit of mistake that he's got time to play with.
Yeah, he had that 1.5 to rest upon. So Adrien Lerone will move into the round of 8 as we continue to crunch the numbers here, trying to figure out if Austin Warren has a chance to sweep that World Championship title out of Adrien Lerone if he wins the race here today.
On my calculations, it's looking really good for Adrien Lerone, but Tommy Zula, #1 qualifier, he'll be up against Kyle Strait, Matthew Sterling against Austin Warren, and then the 2 guys that did upsets, Jacob Hewitt will be against Niels Bensink, Luca Cometti, he'll up against Adrien Lerone.
Well, I'm crunching the numbers here. It is very possible for Austin Warren to take that title. We're going to have to wait to find out. RockShox Pump Track Challenge, more coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep the fans like
take a look at that dude right there. Not Paul Bassigotti. I'm talking about the man in the Rock Shocks shirt right there with a big smile on his face. That's Mitch Ropalato. Now, if he was in the race here today, we'd have a lot to talk about because he would have a chance of being that world champion in the pump track races. And he won the slalom yesterday, so he's just racking up those points for the King title hunt. But he's smiled today, no pressure. He's out of the race. He gets to watch this battle between Lerone and Warren. We crunch the numbers. Warren has a mathematical chance. But take a look at all these smiling faces out here enjoying some pump track action. Where are they hanging out? Well, let's zoom out to the satellite view so we can zoom right back in. North America, look at that beautiful country, Canada. West coast of that country, British Columbia. Zoom it on in to Whistler, British Columbia. The birthplace of the Crankworx World Tour, the epicenter of all things mountain bike from all disciplines. Birthplace of slopestyle so long ago. We'll be bringing that action to you on Saturday, but today it's all about pump track. We are in the middle of our round of 8 action right now as we are painting the picture of what could possibly be the story at the end of the night here. Tommy Zula, the #1 qualifier, made it into the round of 8. He's got to go up against Kyle Strait.
Ready, watch the gate.
So Tommy Zula, he's got the more challenging first turn here. Wow, he's out there with a bang. So Kyle Strait ran a little bit wide there. Oh! He's done it again. He's lost a bit of momentum.
Come on! Look at that! Tight racing here between Tommy Zula and Kyle Strait. Kyle Strait, as you say, keeping him honest. Only 0.03 of a second between these two riders right now. But this section right here is proving to be challenging for a lot of riders. I mean, we've seen Kyle Strait throw dirt off that rear tire 2 runs in a row right now. And he got pushed a little bit wide, maybe lost a little bit of speed, but only 0.03 of a second to make up when they get to the top of the course again. Very, very manageable. And to give you a little reminder of where we sit in our competition right now, we just kicked things off in the round of 8 for the men's category. You see Tommy Zula's name lit up in yellow. That means he has the advantage going into run number 2. A small advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. Now, what will the story be between Austin Warren on the right side of your screen and the young gun, Matt Sterling, on the left?
Austin Warren, the only rider with a mathematical chance to take this title, Cam, so we've got to keep an eye on Austin. He's got to make it through these rounds, but he has to pretty much win this event to have a chance at the title. Aidan Ron, well, he's progressed to the round of 8, so there's a lot of action still coming your way tonight. But Austin Warren, he'll take the lead.
So Austin Warren, another run separated by 0.03 of a second. But yeah, I've done the math. Austin Warren would have to win this race today to take the title. He qualified 4th, so it's very much a possibility. All right, so left side of your screen there, that is Jacob Jewett, the local young gun. Now, not a lot of people know much about Jacob Jewett, so for a little education, let's send it down to the 3rd member of our team, Michaela Gatto.
Yeah, Jacob is actually from Squamish, BC, which is really close to Whistler, and I have a feeling he's a young ripper, and he's gonna, I don't know, give these guys a run for their money. We've seen Matt Sterling do it. We've seen Billy Meeklem do it. I think maybe tonight is Jacob Hewitt's time.
I agree. If you've ever watched the recent film release from Anthill Films, Return to Earth, Jacob Jewett was featured in that film, and you could tell right there he had a lot of bike skill, a lot of style on the bike, and he's proving that with these results out here. Can he knock out Niels Bensing?
So the bracket of upsets here. But these guys, it doesn't matter what they qualified. They're getting some track speed. They're getting more experience here tonight. Jacob Hewitt is looking fast here.
Oh.
Wow, that track is really getting beat up there. Okay. So Niels Bensing was able to hang on there, and he'll have the 0.32 advantage moving on.
So Bensing looking incredibly strong out there today. Jacob Jewett staying within 0.32, so definitely manageable.
So Aiden Laron, the number 2 qualifier, Luca Comedi. We've seen him do very well in pump track before. So let's think about this. It's not only the battle of King of Crankworx, which we see there, Aiden Laron, Macharopolata is not in the field anymore, so he can really jump up those standings. But he's also got the pump track series. It's in his hands, Cam. It's almost his to lose here tonight.
You know, Adrian Laron, we always hear this from him in interviews. He's just focusing on one step at a time here. It's got to be harder and harder to do that toward the end of the season when you have not only the King of Crankworx looming, but the World Championship for all these disciplines looming. But right now, Luca Comedi going up against Adrian Laron, run number 1 of their round of 8 bracket.
So your virtual leader of the series here, Adrian Laron. Thomas Lemoyne, he's in the showers already. Okay, so he's safely through the left-hander. This is a good heat from Adrian Laron.
So check it out. Adrian Laron puts a .37 on Luca Comedi, but he's already in the round of 8. And being in the round of 8, he's going to collect at least 5th place points, 5th and 6th place points, because he qualified 2nd. So Tommy Zula, if he doesn't make it into the semifinals, would finish with 5th place points.
So Cam, I was out there earlier today. The reason I said safely through, it's not only Carl Strait that has issues there. Look at Adrian Laron. He's already made a huge mistake of this turn. So that turn is getting more blown out and more blown out. So that's honestly going to be one of the most crucial keys to the race tonight. There's Carl Strait. He runs a little bit wide. That turn is getting beat up.
I guess if there's one thing to learn from this is we have no idea what might happen out here today, because that final turn could completely ruin people's plans any given heat.
Well, the challenge is you want to jump and land as wide as you can into the turn to carry momentum into that straight, but the wider you go, the less track there is, and that's where the loose dirt is.
Razor's edge out here. Riders trying to walk the tight line. Tommy Zula with the advantage over Kyle Strait. Austin Warren advantage over Matt Sterling as we look at our round of 8 brackets for the men. But now it's time to let the ladies play. Round of 8 bracket for the women's category here. Let's take a look at who we have loaded up for heat number 1. That's going to be your number 1 qualifier there, Jordy Scott, going up against Ellie Smith. Now, Jordy Scott qualifying 1st place. We were doing a little research on her earlier, weren't we, Andrew? Saw that she does backflips, multi-talented bicycle handler out there, enough to get that 1st place qualification spot. And that's even more impressive because we have Jill Kintner in the field out here today. Now, Jill Kintner, despite missing the first couple stops on the series for 2019, she is very much on point. If you were joining us last night for dual slalom, you know I'm not lying because she took the gold. This is how she did it.
Well, she didn't qualify fastest, but wow, she was flawless the whole evening. Used that experience from Crankworx. She's had so many wins, so many medals here. Jill Kintner would take that win in slalom last night, gain some confidence. It's like she never left.
So with all that experience that Jill Kintner has, she knows that it's okay to qualify outside of that number 1 spot because you want to peak at the end of the night. You don't necessarily need to qualify first. In today's race, she qualified 3rd, but she's going up against a tough competitor in run number 1 via Verbeek. But right now, it's all about Jordy Scott, your number 1 qualifier, going up against Ellie Smith.
So this is pump track. This is our women's field. So our number 1 qualifier, Jordy Scott, multi-talented athlete. She's been riding more and more mountain bikes. We know how good she is on the BMX, and she will take a big lead into the next heat. So for the viewers at home, if you're just tuning in, these riders, we will send them to the top. They will switch lanes. They will go at it again. We'll add up those times, and obviously the lowest combined time will advance to the next round.
Next heat in the gate, rolling things right along. Danielle Beecroft, if you remember last year, she took the win in slalom on a downhill bike. Not something you typically see in that discipline. She'll be going up against Joey Goff. There we go. We got friends and family of Danielle Beecroft right here cheering her on, thinking, hey, she won a race last year. We better fly over and cheer her on in 2019. Danielle Beecroft, left side of your screen. Joey Goff on the right.
Ready, watch the gate.
So the complete opposite bike for Danielle Beecroft. This course is way too smooth. The first straight is almost a little bit uphill. You really got to gain momentum through those rollers, so no downhill bike for her tonight. Oh, and she's a little bit behind her. Joey Goff, she will take the lead. 0.51.
So a half second separating these two racers. They qualified in 4th and 5th place respectively. So it should be pretty tight when they switch courses. But look at who we have in the gate right now. Jill Kintner. She was the queen of Crankworx last year. She took a season in 2019 to kind of do a little bit more enduro racing. But she wouldn't miss Whistler, right? Crankworx Whistler? Jill Kintner? They go together.
No, and look who she's against. It's our current leader of the Queen of Crankworx, and she's got a shot to actually cement that title here tonight. So Vaya Verbeek, leader of the Queen of Crankworx, up against Jill Kintner, our reigning Queen of Crankworx. Vaya qualified in 6th position, Jill herself 3rd.
Ready, watch the gate.
So cool, calm, and collected from Jill Kintner, gaining speed into this first tight turn. Beautiful technique from Jill Kintner. One of the most experienced riders here at Crankworx, Jill Kintner, even on the slow lane, managed to take a lead.
Jill Kintner proving why she has all those accolades beside her name, putting 0.63 on Vaya Verbeek, the current leader in the Queen of Crankworx overall. Now Jill will definitely be handing over that crown by the end of this week, and it'll likely be to Vaya. There's still a lot more competitions out here to go before we finish off this 2019 season. But look who we have in the gate right now, Kealani Hines. Now, why are we excited to see her in the gate? Take a look at this. Kealani Hines kicked off the season for 2019 by winning the Pump Track Challenge in Rotorua. Now, this is something she's wanted to do for a long time. It's tough when Jill Kintner's competing. But with Jill Kintner out of the competition, she stomped that win in Rotorua. Carried things over to Innsbruck, Austria with a lot of confidence, going up against Mathilde Bernard here. Kealani Hines making it 2 in a row and taking the win yet again there in Innsbruck, Austria, celebrating with Austin Warren there. Now, to make it even that much more sweet, if she was able to win here tonight, knowing that Jill Kintner is in the field, she would know that she has fully arrived, but she's going to have to get past Annika Beerten in order to do that.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, Annika Beerten, almost as much experience as Jill Kintner, if not more. Annika Beerten qualified in the 7th position. Kealani Hines, if she can advance to Annika Beerten here, she will be on her way to see someone like Jill Kintner in the next round, but she could wrap up the title. So there's a lot to play for just in these early rounds for Kealani Hines.
Well, Hines doing what she needs to do, putting a 1.34 on Annika Beerten. She dove so inside on that last berm right there. I was worried about her exit speed, but she had such a good lead already by that point. She was able to finish that line, cross that finish line with a 1.34 over Annika Beerten. Round of 8 brackets look like this, Andrew.
Well, let's have a look. Geordie Scott, our #1 qualifier. She's illuminated in yellow. It means she's got the lead. Joey Goff over Danielle Beecroft. Jill Kintner, no surprise. She's got the lead over Vaya Verbeek. And we just saw Kealani Hines. She's leading Annika Beerten out.
Well, take a look at that. If Jill and Keelani are able to advance, they will meet up. That will be fun. But right now, let's focus our attention back to the top of the course. Men's racing in the gate. Kyle Straight, left side of your screen, going up against your #1 qualifier today, Tommy Zula. Now, we took a little trip down memory lane to explain to you why Jill Kittner means so much out here. Let's do the same for Kyle Straight. Kyle Straight's been around for a long, long time. Now, much further than 2008, but 2008 is important for this conversation because he won the dual slalom. And 1 year ago, he won the dual slalom again, showing that there is no stopping this guy. Longevity, very much a trait of Kyle Straight. But Tommy Zula, more of a young gun, fresh face on the tour. We've seen him in years past, but we've never seen him qualify first. Now Kyle Straight has 0.03 of a second to dig himself out from under. Pretty much a drag race in this heat.
So Kyle Straight, he's got to put some pressure on Tommy. He will be rocketing out of this first turn ahead, and he's doing just that. But this is with Tommy Zula. Can he keep it clean to that berm? Yes, look at him go, Tommy Zula. That is why he's your #1 qualifier. He will knock out Kyle Straight here in the round 8.
Well, if qualifying first wasn't enough of a reason, that right there is a reason to take Tommy Zula seriously. Now this guy comes from a BMX race background. He competes in some racing events here, but if you check out his Instagram page, this guy's got a ton of tricks as well, so hopefully we'll see him in speed and style again tomorrow, but he just may go on and win this race here. Now Kyle Straight, a little bit squirrely, kind of bobbing and weaving and making the most out of it early on there, diving high into that first right-hand berm, but diving low into that last left-hand berm, and that was what caused the train to fall off the tracks for Kyle Straight.
So just pushing way too hard. He knew how fast Tommy Zula was. He knew he had to lay it all on the line. Mistakes from Kyle Straight. So unfortunately, it'll be an early shower for him. Tommy Zula, though, man, Cam, he might have needed to be your guaranteed pick here. He's looking strong and getting faster as the night progresses.
I'd say that would be our surprise right there. Tommy Zula taking the win. Would you have expected that? I mean, first place qualifier. That was a bit of a hint we should have taken. Matt Sterling, 0.03 of a second behind Austin Warren.
So Matthew Sterling, the winner of slalom in Innsbruck. This is pump track slalom though. Austin Warren looking good so far. And this is where this lane draws back. This is where you come rocketing out.
Wow.
Austin Warren, can he do it?
Look at that. Austin Warren advancing. Very impressive right there. A couple of long days of racing for this guy. And a lot to be proud of here as he moves into the next round, eliminating the young gun Matt Sterling. So look at that little fresh face right there. Jacob Jewett. I'm not exactly sure how old he is. I know his dad, and I remember him as a little tiny creature rolling around the Whistler Village. But now he's a force to be reckoned with because he knocked out that heavy hitter, Mitch Ropolato. Jacob Jewett is the reason why Mitch Ropolato is wearing a hat instead of a helmet right now. Can he continue? Now, Niels Bensink is the man who knocked out the rider who had a chance of winning the overall world championship, Thomas Lemoyne. Can Jacob Jewett impress us all here? Jacob Jewett behind by 0.32. He's got some work to do.
He's got lots of work to do. Neil Bensink has looked strong so far. Oh, mistake from him. So Jacob will advance here.
Huge.
Wow.
Huge story here.
The Canadian in front of the home country here. He advances over Neil Bensink.
The Sea to Sky local delivering under pressure. And this area delivering to us a new top rider in one of these Crankworx disciplines. I have a feeling somebody has arrived right now. Jacob Jewett into the semifinals, AKA the round of 4. And he does it by knocking out Niels Bensink, the man who knocked out Thomas Lemoyne, who was tied for the overall. So a lot of surprises out here today. But one thing that wasn't a surprise is mistakes at the very end on that final left-hander. We've seen so many athletes have mistakes on that final corner there.
The most crucial part of our race there, a little bit, a brake check that stood his bike up, and a mistake from Niels. But Jacob, he's our lowest, and by lowest, I mean the slowest qualifier out of all these guys in this round of 8, and he's through. Qualified only in 19th position.
Well, look who we have next, Adrien Lerone. And speaking of berms, when it comes to cornering on these berms here, these riders are analyzing every last inch. Adrien Lerone had this to say about cornering.
Cornering at perm track is I think it's the key. So when you come into this berm, you want to keep all your speed or even increase your speed. So you're choosing the highest line you can in the entry, and you get stiff. I mean, you try to be super stiff in this turn, and you try to hold this G-force to keep the same line, not going over the berm. And at least me, I try to go a bit downer, because at the end I will keep my line because of the G-force. And I'm trying to watch the exit as much as I can, and explosion. Yeah, it's always different. Innsbruck, it's small berms, it's way slower, you have to brake a bit, you have to be super precise, so it's always a bit different, but this is the idea, keeping your speed.
So easier said than done. Every rider has their plan, but you know that amazing Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Absolutely.
That last berm has been punching people in the face.
That is the Mike Tyson of the pump track here. Adrien Lerone. We know in theory he knows how to turn, but it's all different when it comes to reality. The course is getting more blown out as the night progresses here.
So Adrien Lerone with a .37 advantage over Luca Cometti. Can he put his berm riding strategies to work right here and advance into the round of 4?
So Luca Cometti is a danger man here. He's a threat to Adrien Lerone's title hopes here. Clean so far, Adrien Lerone. Clean again. This is looking good.
Whoa, there we go. Adrien Lerone had the advantage, so even if they tied, it still means Lerone advances right there, but Luca Cometti definitely making him work for it. So, I mean, Lerone making it into the round of 4. Looking at the numbers here, I gotta think that's going to secure his world championship.
Yeah, we've done the maths here, Cam. That looks like he's going to secure the championship. That is great for him. That'll be the 3rd time he's won this pump track championship. We'll obviously stand by for an interview with him and see what their number crunching people have to say.
So a lot of these racers like to do as little math as possible when they're racing, just focus on one heat at a time. So let's see if he even realizes this right now. Let's send it down to Michaela Gatto with the news.
All right, Adrien, so I don't know if you know this, but the fact that you just advanced that round makes you the overall pump track world champion.
Woo! I know it.
He knows it, he knows it. And what do you have to say about that?
It's such a good feeling to get this one back. I got it 3 years in a row. I lost it last year. I get it back now. I'm super happy about it. But I have to focus for the rest of the night because I don't want to do only this, but I'm looking further, so still work to do.
You need to get some of those king points.
Yeah, also, but we're going to go step by step, and the first step is to make it to the final and win it, and then we'll see for the king.
Round by round, step by step. Well, you're doing a pretty good job stepping up that ladder right now.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we go. He's definitely focused on one thing at a time. There's 3 things going on, but I think the one that he should focus most on is winning this race. Seems like he's got his head in the right place. But this is what the king of Crankworx standings that Michaela was referencing looks like right now. Adrien Lerone currently has 431 points. He's sitting in second behind Mitch Ropalato, who has 510 points. If Adrien Lerone's able to add 100, he would have 531. He'd be shooting to the top of that leaderboard. And Mitch Ropalato's loving it. He says, I got more events coming up.
Yeah, he's all smiles now, but Adrian Long with a win would be able to leapfrog him and take that lead in the King of Crankworx. We've got speed and style to come. We've got downhill to come. Those two athletes, Mitch Stropler probably has his number when it comes to downhill, but speed and style is going to be very interesting for those two. So let's have a look at the women's bracket. Geordie Scott, she's our #1 qualifier. She's also got the lead in this heat.
Geordie Scott, Ellie Smith up there. Geordie Scott with the advantage. So our ladies back up top, round 8.
So Geordie Scott, winner of run #1 by 1.03. Geordie Scott's also your #1 qualifier rolling into this event.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So Geordie Scott, she has the advantage here. So she's got to play it nice and safe here. She wants to get through. Wow, good double for her into that turn. And Geordie Scott, our #1 qualifier, she will be the first person into the semi-final.
Geordie Scott making good on that promise of that #1 qualifier right there. She wants to move in to the final round, doing what she needs to do. But now in the gate, Danielle Beecroft behind by a half second. Joey Goff with the advantage.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So Joey Goff with that 0.51 advantage here over Danielle Beecroft. Great Britain against Australia here in the pump track. Final round of our Crankworx World Tour. It's Whistler and we are live here. Joey Goff, she has done it. She will advance and she will see Geordie Scott in that semi-final heat #1.
Well, this is an interesting heat right here. You've got Jill Kintner, the reigning Queen of Crankworx, on the right side of your screen from the 2018 season. And then beside her, the name at the top of the list for our Queen of Crankworx 2019 overall standings, Via Verbeek. Now, we caught up with Via Verbeek a little earlier in the day. And caught up, this is what she had to say about the Queen Hunt.
Winning Queen of Crankworx entails spending a lot of time training on all bikes and feeling really good on all bikes. But it's not just about being ready in all sorts of disciplines, it's also dealing with the marathon that the week of Crankworx is. That, I think, is the biggest part. And the Whistler one is the longest one, and you really realize that the pace is catching up. I like to approach it with a light mind and just not put too much stress on it and just try to enjoy it and having a good time. Like, I don't want to get it too serious with it because that doesn't usually pay off for me. Putting it all together is hard work.
Well, it seems to be working for Via Verbeek as she is leading the Queen of Crankworx overall standings right now. Jill Kintner, alongside her, knows what it's like to be the queen. Via Verbeek dreams about it every day. She's getting steps closer every race, earning those valuable points.
Well, she's got her work cut out for her. She's up against the Queen of Pump Track. We said a lot about Jill. She's the Queen of Crankworx, our reigning one at that. So Jill Kintner with the advantage. Looking a bit sluggish there, but she knows she's just got to get a wheel ahead. She already had the advantage, so Jill Kintner will be advancing into your semi-final heat 2.
So Via Verbeek picks up a few points from the round of 8. She's not going to get top honors out here tonight. Jill Kintner spoiling those hopes. But we'll look forward to seeing who Jill Kintner will be meeting up against in the next bracket. Could it possibly be Keilani Hines? Keilani Hines breaking down the mechanics of pump track racing for us earlier. Let's check out some of her strategies.
When you're racing pump track, you're always looking ahead. You're not looking at the roller that's under you, you're looking at the roller in front of you. And I tell people that at the bottom, the base of both rollers should be your heaviest point, And then when you're coming up, your lightest point should be at the very top of the roller. And then you repeat it. When you're pumping, it's all timing. And then you learn to do manuals and then jumping, and then it all goes. The manuals and the jumping are the same as the pumping. It's just you learn how to like get the flow and the timing, and that's kind of how it goes.
I like that way of explaining it. You want to be the heaviest at the bottom of the rollers and the lightest at the top. That's a great way of describing how you generate speed without a chain here, using only gravity supplied by these rollers. Keilani Hines, winner of run number 1. Annika Bearden is behind by 1.34.
So that is a big lead here in pump track. Short tracks here tonight. Keilani Hines, can she put that theory of pumping into practice here? As you said, that's one of the best explanations I've ever heard. So Keilani Hines, the winner of the first 2 rounds of our Crankworx World Tour. She is leading here. If she can advance through this round, she can wrap up this title as well.
Well, there we go. Keilani Hines making short work out of Annika Bearden there. Rolling into the next round. And now, I'm looking forward to seeing those brackets because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to see Keilani Hines, the winner of the first 2 pump track races of this 2019 season. She'll be going up against, you call her the queen of pump track. I like that. That's a very appropriate nickname for Jill Kintner. That will be a very entertaining heat. Of course, Jordy Scott, your number 1 qualifier, will be going up against Joey Goff. Before we know it, we're going to be handing out some hardware here, Andrew.
Hardware, as well as we're handing over those series titles, which we've done already. But those guys need to get back and get their eye on the prize. Their medals, their prize money for tonight.
So Keilani Hines there with a smile on her face, knowing she's going to go up against her hero there, Jill Kintner. And we're going to find out in 2019 who the queen of pump track really is. This is the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. More action coming up after the break. Don't go away. Well, welcome back. Things are heating up here in the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. We're whittling down the field. We have some world championships to divvy out. And if you like bowled out corners like the berms we have here, well, don't miss Red Bull Bowl Rippers. Red Bull Bowl Rippers is going down at the legendary Prado Bowl in Marseille, France. The best male and female skateboarders will battle it out in an almost brand new bowl where new features have been added this year. Don't miss Red Bull Bowl Rippers, Sunday, August 18th, live on Red Bull TV. Now, we've been talking about crunching numbers all night. Michaela's been crunching the numbers, and she's standing by with somebody who has a lot to celebrate right now. Michaela, who do you have?
I'm here with Via Verbeek. We've done some number crunching. You did get eliminated by Jill Kintner. However, Kalani Hines just eliminated Annika, which means you have secured your spot as the 2019 Queen of Crankworx. Did you ever think you'd be able to do that?
I don't know. I mean, obviously leading up to it with the lead, it was positive, but this isn't something that I'd be like dreaming of doing, like #1 at something like that. Nah.
You seem a little stunned.
Yeah, I don't know how to celebrate. I need to take a seat.
I can give you some party pointers, don't worry. Queen of Crankworx 2019, Via Verbeek. Let's give her a hand, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Michaela. Well earned for Via Verbeek. I'm sure Michaela will have no problem divvying out some party points. Via Verbeek with plenty to celebrate out there today. It's been a long season for her. A lot of events through the 3 stops on the Crankworx World Tour. Hard earned, well deserved.
It's not just the season that was hard work. I mean, that is a whole off season of training, hard work, late days. I mean, she must have been dreaming about it. I know she's very emotional right now, but that was a goal that she said when she came to Rotorua. She was setting her eyes on that Queen of Crankworx title. Amazing victory for her.
And to lock it up with an iron fist before we're even done with competition here at stop number 3. Still a few more days to go, and still a whole lot more racing to go here in the Pump Track Challenge. We're looking at the men's field right now. Tommy Zula, #1 qualifier on the left side of your screen. Austin Warren, qualified #4. And only one will advance into the final. Who's it going to be?
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So will the BMX experience pay off? You can see how fast he is on that first straight. That is all BMX technique there. Wow, he is flying, Cam. That's the tricky turn though, and he's through there flawlessly on the slower lane.
Tommy Zula just looks like adrenaline. Like, if adrenaline had a human form, it would look like Tommy Zula. He's just packed with energy. Do you see how just twitchy he is on the course? Like, just move, 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 move. Find the speed on those rollers and squash all your weight down on it.
Yeah, he's knocked Austin's confidence there. That was an unbelievable run from him. Like you said, adrenaline, confident. He is fast. He is ready for that win.
All right, next matchup here, a case of youth and enthusiasm against age and experience. Now that youth belonging to Jacob Jewett, a rider who is now rocket shipping his name onto the world stage. Adrian Larone, a fixture on this Crankworx World Tour. Can Jacob Jewett knock down another Goliath?
So Adrian Larone, can he reset? What a great achievement to win the Pump Track Series again for a 3rd time. But he's got to get back into the present here. He's looking good on that fast lane. Adrian Larone will take the advantage, and we restack these riders.
Well, Jacob Jewett back by 0.7. It looked like he drove a little bit inside on that final left-hand berm, lost a little speed, but it'll be very interesting to see when they switch courses. Now, Laurent gave us a bit of a cornering clinic earlier where he was breaking down his strategies. Now, let's watch him in slow-mo and see him put those strategies to work, Andrew. High in those berms.
So he's going as high as he can. And let's keep an eye. His eyes, he's looking as far left as he can when he's in those turns, looking at the exit. So Adrian Larone putting it all into practice here. It looks like he's reset. He's not celebrating yet. He still wants to go on and try win tonight.
Jacob Jewett is going to have that 0.7 to make up when they switch sides, but he will be on that faster side in their second run in this round of 4, aka the semifinals.
So Tommy Zula, he's illuminated. He's got the lead over Austin Warren. And then we just saw Aiden Ron. He's going to take the lead over Jacob Hewitt. They'll go back up to the top. They will switch lanes and they'll go at it again.
So a lot of action going on here at Crankworx Festivals, one of which is the Deep Summer Photo Challenge. For more on that, we caught up with Peter Jameson, one of the photographers who was in the competition. Check it out.
Today is August 11th, 2019, the final day of the Deep Summer Photo Challenge. So for my slideshow, I decided to focus on the experiences that I had in Whistler in 2018, which was my first time really on the West Coast. I just kind of wanted to recreate those same experiences, hang out with my friends, have a good time, and hopefully inspire some people. This is the van, and I've been living in it roughly full time since June of last year. The Deep Summer, it's a 72-hour photo challenge that Crankworx puts on in Whistler and Rotorua every year, and they choose 5 photographers and 1 wild card, and they give them 3 days to go and shoot and put together a slideshow with their friends, and it gets displayed in the Olympic Plaza.
We're in Blackcomb, Whistler right now, riding A-Bud. Trail is absolutely unreal, pretty techy, rooty, rocky, typical Canadian feel. Really pumped to be here.
Whistler is so special for me because it was like my first trip really out west. Never really experienced all the rock slabs and just insane terrain out here. Coming from the East Coast, like there aren't trails this gnarly that are just easily accessible.
Oh my gosh, absolute animal.
Vibe in Whistler, ooh. I definitely say the vibe in Whistler is just super positive, like so many good friends around, everyone's riding, having a good time.
You can go to the park completely alone and then you meet up with about 5 or 10 buddies and you're basically not really alone if you're in Whistler.
I think my favorite trail to shoot on, particularly this past 3 days for Deep Summer, has been D1. There are like some nice pockets in the trees and Garrett was wearing a white t-shirt and the light fall was just like pretty harsh and nice. So really enjoyed shooting that trail, and it's also my favorite trail in the bike park to ride.
Favorite trail has got to be Dirt Merchant. I've ridden it all day, every single day since I've been here, so hands down Dirt Merchant.
Yeah.
That one's real tight.
It is still the beginning of Crankworx. Today is the last day for Deep Summer, but none of the real events have kind of kicked off, so I'll be able to enjoy the sea to sky for the upcoming week. And then I'm back to Vernon for the rest of the fall, but definitely hope to come back either later this fall and definitely next summer I'll be enjoying some more time throughout Squamish, Pemberton, and Whistler. Looking forward to it.
So as you can see, there's even more to the action out here at Crankworx Whistler than the racing, the Deep Summer Photo Challenge there. Through the eyes of Peter Jameson, but now it's all about semifinal action. In the women's category, Jordy Scott going up against Joey Goff now. Jordy Scott, your #1 qualifier. This is run #1 of the semifinals for them, so a blank slate for both riders, no differentials to speak of.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Can Jordy back up her #1 qualifier? She's looked good all evening. This is the semi-final, heat #1. Joey Goff out of Great Britain, trying to put some pressure on Jordan. And she's doing that. Great last turn from her.
So Joey Goff crossing the finish line, 0.31, ahead of Jordy Scott, your #1 qualifier. So that will get interesting when they switch sides and Jordy Scott gets to ride on that fast side. And see what the story is when she accelerates out of that final left-hand berm on the rider's left side.
Well, this is interesting. We see Kalani Hines. She's ready to get back in this gate. Jill Kittner. Yeah, there we see her. Okay, so she was just out of camera there. But she is cool, calm, and relaxed. She's not going to get up there and sit there too early and get nervous. Wow, this is a lady of experience.
Yeah, this is interesting right here. So, for those of you who remember 2010, you would remember this right here. Jill Kintner taking the win her first win in the Pump Track Challenge here in Whistler. Well, what was Keilani Hines doing when Jill Kittner was standing on the top step of that podium? She was just 11 years old. She's racing BMX. They both come from a similar area, around the Seattle area. Keilani Hines always looking up to Jill Kittner. Keilani Hines winning the first 2 events in the 2019 season here. Jill Kittner now at stop number 3. And this is what we were hoping would happen, a face-off between the 2 champs.
Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Wow, so Keilani Hines, newly crowned Pump Track Series champion, qualified in 2nd, but she's up against the legendary Jill Kittner. And we know how good Jill Kittner is under pressure, so Keilani Hines will take that lead.
All right, what will the advantage be? 0.24. Keilani Hines ahead of Jill Kittner. Yeah, that's going to be interesting when they switch sides. Keilani Hines, of course, on the faster course. At this point in the game, we've realized, but that rider's left side of the course seems to be a little bit quicker, due in large part to that final turn. But let's savor this in slow-mo, Needles.
So Jill was good out the gate there, committed to that first tight turn, but Keilani Hines coming from behind here, clean through that last turn. Wow, she got good momentum in the last straight. Jill Kittner, she is back here in competition at Crankworx, but she is not here to participate. We all know if she enters an event, the only goal she has is to win it.
Here's how things are shaking down right now. Keilani Hines with that 0.24 advantage over Jill Kittner down there at the bottom of your screen. The winner goes on to the finals. But now we'll check in on the men's competition here. Men's semifinals, AKA round of 4 here as the crowd gets involved. We are looking at Austin Warren, the left side of your screen, going up against Tommy Zula, the #1 qualifier out here today. He's been looking unstoppable. No shortage of energy here as we enter the late evening. 0.32 is the disadvantage that Austin Warren will have to fight back from. This should be good.
Tommy Zula showing no signs of pressure tonight. Our #1 qualifier. Austin Warren really needs to let it all hang out here to have any chance. Tommy Zula, he's clean to that turn.
Wow, look at that, Tommy Zula. By 0.29, meaning he advances into the final. The #1 qualifier making it into the final, meaning that he is consistent, doing his job today. Austin Warren will still have a chance at a bronze medal. So another big developing story here. We love it. We talked about Billy Meeklum launching his career, but this guy right here is doing it here in Whistler. This is Jacob Jewett. Now we talked about how he's a local. Michaela Gatto has been doing a little research. Let's send it down to her.
All right, well, I'm actually here with someone really important tonight, Jacob Jewett's dad, Scott.
Yeah, hey, how you doing? Pretty psyched.
So this is Jacob's first pro race. However, he won Air DH and dual slalom in the U17 categories this week. What I want to know is what were his expectations and what are your expectations for him tonight?
Yeah, he had no expectations really. Like, he got the invite from Crankworx. I think there was 2 juniors that got invited. And then he showed up this morning and he got in the round of qualifiers. Made it, I think he's 19th into the round of 32. And then he drew Mitch. And he was like, oh, I drew Mitch, my day's over. And then he got him. And he's here and he's in the final 4, so it's pretty insane. We're super excited.
Well, I feel the pride coming off of you.
Oh, that's great. We've known Scott for a long time. He was involved with Red Bull Joyride a few years ago. Now he's working with Anthill Films. If you look at their newest release, Return to Earth, you'll see Jacob Jewett in there as he continues to make a name for himself, and he's able to get through Adrian Larone. That will be one step closer to being a big name in the sport here, but he's got 0.7 seconds to make up behind Larone now.
So he's already surpassed his expectations of himself and his father. But let's not slow down, Jacob. You've got Adrian Larone out front. Can you put some pressure on him here tonight? Look at him go, Jacob. He's doing his best.
Not going to be enough, but wow, we're getting a glimpse at a great young rider in development here. I'm sure this is not the last you'll see of Jacob Jewett. Well, absolutely, because he'll be going into the bronze medal round there as Adrian Lerone keeps his hopes alive for a win here and another 100 points to add to his name in that King of Crankworx tally. So bronze medal round that I'm speaking of will look like this. Jacob Jewett going up against Austin Warren. Austin Warren with a chance to get 2 medals in 2 days here. But the finals is set. Tommy Zula, your #1 qualifier, going up against Adrian Lerone, the man who locked down the Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Championship in the earlier rounds. His night is still far from over. Now, for the women, check out our brackets. Jordy Scott, Joey Goff right now. Joey with the advantage. Jordy Scott, your #1 qualifier. You see Tom Zula made it into the finals. He was the #1 qualifier for the men. Can Jordy Scott do the same? She has .31 to make up.
She is on the fast lane, Cam, so if anything's in her favor, it is that. She has been riding great all night, but now the pressure's starting to mount. She qualified fastest, and this is going to really make or break her. She's clean to that turn. I think she's going to be able to do it, Cam.
Here we go. She needs .31. She gets 1.14. Jordy Scott moving into the finals.
So that is a great story for her. She's managed to put herself in the finals, your #1 qualifier. So that's a great night for her, but she could go on to get the gold medal. Who will she go up against, Cam? Can it be Kalani Hines? Can she get through Jill Kittner, who's our reigning queen of Crankworx?
Now, it's not very often you get to see Keilani Hines and Jill Kittner squaring up against each other in the final. We've seen both of them stand on the top step of the podium so many times in the past. So Keilani had this to say about racing Jill Kittner.
I feel like everyone's answer would be this, but obviously Jill. Yeah, if she races pump track, I definitely want to be in the final with her. Because I also kind of want to prove that I can beat her, because I haven't really beat her in pump track or anything, really. And I think a lot of it is always nerves going up against Jill, just because I know she's like a really fierce competitor and she does really well under pressure, so that I know isn't really going to get her. And so I try to just relax and just ride, and then put the game face on when I need to.
This is cool. I mean, we've been following this for the past few years. And we get another glimpse of this matchup. So, can Keilani Hines do it? You know, she dreams about it. You know, Jill is good under pressure. You heard Keilani say that right there. Jill down by .24.
Well, there's been a changing of the guard coming. Will it be tonight? Keilani Hines has won the first 2 rounds. Oh, she's got the advantage as well, but Jill's on that fast lane. So Keilani Hines looking good, but this is where Jill will look to claw back.
Oh!
Clean by both of them. Come on, Keilani. Can she keep
looks
close?
Like Jill's going to do it. .52. She only needed a .24. Oh, man. Keilani Hines. I hope she gets another chance to square up against Jill. Because, man, she's beat so many competitors, but always just a little bit behind Jill Kittner there. Jill proves she is good under pressure, no matter how much pressure. Jeez, let's look back at this run here.
So Jill Kittner, she was flawless down this first straight. Keilani looking a little bit tighter. She was late out of that turn, sluggish through the middle straight, and this is where Jill made up all her ground. So shame, she will be playing another mistake from Keilani there in the final straight. So she spoke about the nerves there, Cam, and it clearly came through.
It would have been pretty close without that mistake from Keilani. Well, let's throw it down to Michaela Gatto.
I don't know how you do it. The pressure, tell me what is going through your mind in that start gate? Positive self-talk? Are you angry? How do you bring it back and come out with the advance?
I always just think like I'm grateful for the opportunity and want to put down my best run, so I try and focus on just efficient pumps and my own race, I guess.
Man, you look so much angrier than that on the outside, but the inside, you're just grateful to be here.
Yeah, I guess I got a pretty serious face. Sorry. I am enjoying it, and it's a tough track, so it takes a lot of concentration.
Well, we love it. We love everything about you. It's so good to see you back out here, and congratulations on moving into the final.
Thanks. It's nice to be back. Thanks, Whistler.
Yeah. Right on. Well, we have our bronze medal round set for the men and women. We've got our gold medal round set for the men and women. Walk me through it, Needles.
Well, Geordie Scott, your #1 qualifier. She's going up against Jill Kittner. Wow, it's going to be a tough matchup. And in the men's, we have it. We have Adrian Lon. He's through to the finals. But man, can Tommy Zula put a stop to it?
Well, it'll be medal time shortly. This is the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. Medals coming up after the break. Back to action here in the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. The stage is set for our bronze and gold medal rounds, but we would be missing out if we didn't catch up and get an interview with our world champion in the women's category. More on that, let's send it down to Michaela.
Yeah, I am here with Kalani Hines. The night is not over, but Kalani still has a chance of getting a bronze medal. But what we really want to talk about is the fact that you are our new 2019 Pump Track World Champion.
Yeah, it's sweet. Yeah, I'm excited. It's cool.
You can tell she's still focused because she's quiet still, but I feel like once we get through these next few rounds, she's going to be celebrating a little bit harder.
Yeah, I still have to kind of stay focused. I got the round for the bronze medal, which I want, so I just got to like focus, not make dumb mistakes, and hopefully finish the week with a medal.
Well, that kind of attitude is what gives you the Pump Track World Championship title, so congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go, I love it. There's time to celebrate, but the time is not now. Kalani Hines has her sights set on a bronze medal. She does not want to leave this Crankworx Whistler 2019 empty-handed. Speaking of bronze medals, take a look at what we have loaded up in the gate right now.
Well, Austin Warren, the #4 qualifier, can he get another medal? He did one yesterday, but Jacob Hewitt our fairy tale story, the Canadian, the junior, qualifying only in 19th position, but man, he's knocked out some big names already. The likeliness of Mitch Ropolato in the first round. Can he put some icing on this cake here tonight?
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So will it be a fairy tale ending for Jacob Hewitt? This is the first heat of the bronze medal matchup up against Austin Warren. Jacob Hewitt putting some pressure on him.
Oh man, Jacob Hewitt looking so fast, but Austin Warren coming back in the final straightaway. It looks like we have a tie, ladies and gentlemen. So it will be a drag race once we get them loaded back up at the gate, switch sides. Now Jacob Hewitt was on the faster side. You see the bottom of the course right here. This is where riders gain all their time. A little bit of a hop from Jacob Hewitt, but I would say that's more a case of Austin Warren just really doing a great job of riding that difficult rider's right line and staying high in that bottom berm, maintaining that exit speed. But that's what a perfect tie looks like.
That's flawless from both those two riders. And what's exciting for us here in the booth, you viewers at home, well, there's no number crunching. They're going to go back to the top, switch lanes, and whoever crosses that line first is going to be your bronze medal winner.
Well, that's going to be great. Once we get them back up to the top of the course, like you said, we won't have to do any math. We love that. Thanks for making it easy on us there, Austin and Jacob. But time to roll over to the women's category right now. The brackets look like this. The bronze medal matchup, Joey Goff and Keilani Hines. Gold medal will be either going to your #1 qualifier out here today, Jordy Scott, or Jill Kintner, the queen of pump track racing. So we heard from Keilani Hines. Not super interested in hearing about that Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Championship she won, because it's all about this bronze medal right here.
So Keilani Hines, sorry there, Cam. Keilani Hines, I mean, she is your series champion. That's great. But we can see, I think she's a bit disappointed because she wanted to beat Jill Kintner fair and square. She didn't manage to do that. She can't feel too bad for herself. I mean, it is Jill Kintner. We've lost count of how many wins she's got in pump track.
You know, she just wants to make sure before Jill stops doing these races, she gets her at least once, I'm sure.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So can the British rider upset the newly crowned series champion here? Keilani Hines is in the fast lane. So Joey Goff, a little bit sluggish there on that outside line. So there we go. Keilani Hines, she'll be taking the advantage into the next heat.
Well, that's got to feel good. Get some of that energy out there for Keilani Hines. I think she was kicking herself a little bit for some minor mistakes in that run against Jill Kintner, but putting it down there, a 1.06 advantage ahead of Joey Goff. Looking pretty good for that bronze medal there, but she'll still have to hold it together for another run when they switch sides.
Each one of them gives her just a little bit more speed. Speed boost all the way through.
Check out what our gold medal matchup looks like here for the men. Tommy Zulek, #1 qualifier, going up against Adrian Larone.
He has been so fast. He has been taking over where he is supposed to.
So Adrian Larone on the start line, wearing his helmet, looking to gain some valuable points ahead of this guy right here, hanging out with the beer, wearing the hat, Mitch Ropolato. If Adrian Larone's able to win this, he will surpass Mitch Ropolato in the King of Crankworx overall standings as they sit right now. But he's going to have to get past your #1 qualifier out here today, Tommy Zula.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Tommy Zulu, your #1 qualifier.
Wow.
He's got to stay focused because he is on that slower lane. It doesn't look like it though. He is skyrocketing here. But viewers, this is where Adrian Lauren will look to gain some momentum. Wow, Tommy Zula is fast tonight.
Okay, Tommy Zula has cracked the code on how to ride the slow course fast. That was ridiculous. Did you see his exit speed on that final left-hand berm? You see so many riders just get balled up on the inside.
Tommy Zula is riding like a man possessed here. He means business. He came out, he qualified in first, and he's backing it up. Look how much speed he's got on that outside lane. Just so good with the timing on every pump. It's automatic to him.
Where most riders are getting stuffed up, he's finding a way to accelerate. And that's how he was able to put a .32 on Adrien Laurent. Adrien Laurent not looking super happy about that .32.
So there you have it, Tommy Zula, he's illuminated. He has the advantage over Adrien Laurent. We're going to throw them straight back to the top. They're going to switch lanes and they're going to duke it out again. But Austin Warren and Jacob Hewitt, as you remember, they tied their first heat. So it's all to play for in that bronze medal matchup.
All right, back to the women here. The gold medal round. You know, we're talking about Jill Kittner hanging out up there. Can she do it again? She's done it so many times in the past, but she's going to have to get past your #1 qualifier out here today, Jordy Scott. Big opportunity here for Jordy Scott. Now, with this being first of 2 runs here, there's no differentials to speak of. Let's see who can get the advantage.
So youth versus experience. Jordy Scott, #1 qualifier against Jill Kittner. Jill looking a little bit sluggish in that outside turn. Can she pull some back here? Smooth for her, and she's put a bit of an advantage into Jordy.
Look at that. Jill Kittner with .73 on top of Jordy Scott there.
That's
now,
a big gap in pump track racing camp.
Totally, and this is similar to what we saw last night. Jill Kittner not qualifying in first, but then winning the race. History could potentially repeat itself out here. Let's take a look back at some replays, Andrew.
So let's have a look. Great start from Jordy. Jill Kittner here, it looked like she was a bit sluggish. Kind of double turned that outside turn. It's not an easy turn. And then here, Jill Kittner on that quicker inside turn. Boom, and that was .7 of an advantage. That's a big lead that she's going to take into the final heat of this gold medal matchup. So here we have it. Jill Kittner, she's illuminated there. She's got the advantage against #1 qualified Jordy Scott. But before we see them, Joey Goff from Great Britain will go against our literally newly crowned pump track champion, Kalani Hines.
So as we get closer to giving away some medals here in the Rock Chalk's Ultimate Pump Track Challenge, we got to tease what we have coming up for you later on this weekend. I'm talking about Saturday, Slopestyle Saturday, Red Bull Joyride, the final event of the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. Now, if you haven't yet, make sure you get your VIP tickets to beat Center Ice 50-yard line for the best show on 2 wheels out here, Red Bull Joyride, coming up Saturday. 4:30 p.m. local time. You're not going to want to miss that. There's a look at the course right there. Great course. It's a little bit different than we've had the last few years, so I'm excited about that. Mix things up a little bit. We got that drop mid-course, close to where you'll be if you buy your ticket for the Joyride VIP area. But these guys have earned their spot right now into the bronze medal matchup. Austin Warren on the right side of your screen, and the young gun from Squamish, BC, Jacob Hewitt. Pretty simple math here, Needles.
There you have it. For the viewers at home, we're not going to do any number crunching. Whoever crosses that finish line first will win a bronze medal here. Who will it be? Can the youngster put some icing on the cake? He's had a great night already. Austin Warren keeping it smooth. He's got a wheel ahead. Austin Warren is going to do it.
Oh, so close, though. You kidding me? A perfect tie in run #1. And then a bronze medal decided by 0.04 of a second. Austin Warren taking home his second medal in the past 2 days. Wow. Well, Austin Warren celebrating 2 nights in a row. Let's throw it down and hear from him, Michaela. Holy moly.
I just heard you go, holy moly.
All day I've been like watching people on this track. It's so close every round, like practice, and it was insane. One mistake in that corner, it was just like, all right, it's done. But you know what? It's an awesome track, awesome crowd tonight too. So thanks for coming. Great show. stoked to get a bronze.
Well, and thank you for coming out. Bronze medal. Here we go. Austin Warren.
Thank you.
Yeah, hard work pays off. He's been training out there. Straight acres, Kyle Straight's training compound. They've got everything you need to succeed out here in the Crankworx World Tour, and it's paying off for Austin Warren right there. But now we got the bronze medal. Final run loaded up in the gate here. Keelani Hines, left side of your screen, going up against Joey Goff. Keelani with a 1.06 advantage ahead of Joey. You know, we heard from her earlier, Keelani really wants this bronze medal.
Yeah, she is our series champion, newly crowned. But she wants to stomp her authority on this event. She needs that bronze medal. She's got a big lead as well. She's just got to ride smart here. But both ladies, Joey Goff out of Great Britain, trying to put some pressure on Keelani Hines. Keelani Hines safely through that last turn, and she will do it. That's a bronze medal for her.
There we go. Keelani may not have pounced on that opportunity to beat Jill Kittner, but she did take home the bronze medal, and she will be your Crankworx Pump Track Challenge World Champion for the 2019 season.
So, only one medal left to dish out. Well, two, but only one gold medal. Jill Kittner, she's got that lead over Geordie Scott. So what color will Geordie Scott be able to take home tonight?
All right, let's roll our attention over to the men's gold medal matchup here. Adrien Lerone. Always so much to talk about when this guy's name pops up, because this being the final stop of the season, we're thinking about those king points. Adrien Lerone wanting to win this race right now, but thinking about the fact that he could get 100 more points. What would that do to his spot in the standings? Let's take a look. If Adrien Lerone added 100 points, he'd have 531. He would smush Mitch Ropolato's 510 down into second place. So a lot on the line here for Adrien Lerone.
Well, you might have to take a leaf out of Mitch's book, because what does Mitch say? If you're thinking, you're losing. So there you have it, Mitch. Too much thinking clearly in the first round against Jacob Hewitt. Clearly thinking you had an easy round. Well, it wasn't to be. But this is the final. This is the gold medal matchup. Can the #1 qualified Tom Mazzulli take down Adrien Lerone?
So Tommy Zula with a .32 ahead of Adrien Lerone. The gate has dropped.
Tommy Zula with that advantage and speed on track to boot. Now this is where he needs to stay focused, because he is behind, but this is where the tracks get faster for him. Can he do it?
Oh, what's it gonna be?
I think it's gonna be enough, Cam. Tommy Zula will take a gold medal after qualifying fastest. Adrien Lerone, he'll play bridesmaid, he'll be in silver.
Oh man, that's cool. Tommy Zula. You know, I was on the chairlift with him. It was either last year or 2 years ago. He's talking about how, you know, I really like this mountain bike stuff. You know, the BMX is cool, but there's not so many events anymore. I like how you can race pump track, slalom, speed and style. And you know what? A couple years later, here he is taking a gold medal in pump track. Hard work paying off. Let's hear from him, Michaela.
Yes. All right, I didn't want to get in the way of that bromance, but you just won the pump track.
So stoked right now. I want this win so bad.
But you told me earlier that you only race pump track, what is it, once a year?
Yeah, this is the first Crankworx I did this year.
I'm thinking maybe you should start doing more.
Yeah, I think that's a good game plan.
And you were talking about your friend Colin earlier too. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, this one was for you, Colin. Hope you're doing well.
And I think we can also safely say that this one was also maybe for Mitch Ropolato, because by winning today, Adrien Lerone didn't surpass him in the King of Crankworx standings, so.
Oh, yeah, Mitch is my boy, him and Cody Kelly. I lived in Utah with them for a little bit. Love those dudes.
I keep thinking you're going to say something and then you just stop. Congratulations, first place.
You're making me nervous.
I do that. I tend to do that. Congratulations.
Hell yeah. Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Yeah. I'm a Tommy Zula fan for sure.
Well, jokes aside, that was a serious win for Tommy Zula. #1 qualifier. You could see how hungry he was. He beat Adrian Laurent. And let's switch gears here. We've got more medals to hand out.
There we go. The women's gold medal up for grabs right now. Will it go to Jill Kintner, who has a .73 lead going into this run? Or will Jordy Scott, your #1 qualifier, fight from behind and take the gold?
Oh, it is tense out here, Cam. Jordy Scott, the #1 qualifier. She's into the fast lane. She's got some time to make up, though. Can she stay patient enough and drive out of this last turn? She's got the lead. Will it be enough, Cam? It doesn't look like
Jordy
it.
Scott through by .31. It will not be enough. Look at that. Jill Kintner taking the gold once again here in Whistler. Pretty tight there at the end. But everything from the trembles of the arms in the gate for Jill Kintner, the eye of the tiger, all the way through a precise run. Look at this. Let's review, Needles.
It was tense for both, and the little hop by Jordy was neat, but Jill Kintner is so composed, experience just shining through here. She knew she had the lead. Just perfect pumps for her. This is where she was calm, but she got good drive out of that last turn. And there you have it, Cam.
Well, Jill Kintner picking up exactly where she left off on the Crankworx World Tour. She was the 2018 queen, took a season off, but decided to join us here in Whistler just for fun, take home a couple wins in the last 2 days. Let's send it down to Michaela.
All right, so how grateful are you feeling now?
Pretty grateful. Definitely lost a little speed coming out of that last one. I was kind of stressing, but yeah, luckily that first run was pretty good.
So are we gonna see you back? Are you gonna come back?
Do you want me to come back?
Do we want Jill Kintner to come back onto the Crankworx World Tour?
I don't know, I'm just mixing it up a bit. I've done this for so long that it's nice to do something different. And kind of the highlight of the night is riding this beautiful bike that Tony painted for me. So thanks so much to Tony and Norco for the Queen of Hearts bike. Hopefully, I lost my title, but hopefully it still means something.
Well, I'd say let's take a look at this bike right here. And you just got this painted up, and it's like a Queen of Hearts card. This is Jill telling me. And I don't know, you just got this painted. I think you should carry it on until next season and come back on the World Tour.
Well, it's cool that I still win all these events and leave my mark, I guess.
Oh, you left your mark, trust me. Congratulations, first place finisher tonight, Jill Kintner.
Thanks again.
Yeah, I'm down with that Queen of Hearts bike. That looks good. And a familiar sight there, Jill Kintner. She'll be wearing a gold medal around her neck here shortly after our medal ceremony. But what a great day of racing here. So, with these medals given away and these points divvied out, let's take a look at what some of our overall standings look like for our King of Crankworx. Mitch Ropalato holds on to that top spot, Andrew.
Yeah, although he went out early, Adrian Laurent didn't manage to win. So he's going to still stay in second, but look how close it is. It's only 13 points, so there's a lot to play for the rest of Crankworx Tour.
I'd like to hear what Adrian Laurent has to say about that 13-point deficit. Let's hear from him, Michaela.
All right, Adrian, so you didn't take the win tonight, but you're only 13 points away from taking over Mitch's spot as the current King of Crankworx.
Yeah, Tommy was super fast tonight. I just found somebody who was faster than me, so pretty glad for him. And yeah, it's pretty tight for the King of Crankworx, as every year. I have one more to do tomorrow, not the easiest, but I will give it all till the end. And I'm pretty stoked on taking this world overall title again.
Yeah, you got the Pump Track World Championship title as well, and we'll see you at Dual Speed and Style tomorrow.
Sure.
Well, that'll be good. I mean, sure, the Pump Track Challenge may be over, but we have so many more competitions coming your way. This final stop of the 2019 season. Tomorrow, it's all about the Cliff Speed and Style. 6 o'clock p.m. local time here. If you're viewing from New Zealand, that's 1 o'clock p.m. And in Europe, you better set your alarm because that's 3 a.m. Now, Andrew, this was a great race. Final thoughts from our RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge here today.
Well, blew our expectations away. Adrian Laurent managed to wrap up the title. Jill Kittner, of course, we wanted someone like Kalani Hines to take her down, but it was pretty silly for us to bet against Jill Kittner. Great win by her. Tommy Zula came out swinging. He was honestly unbeatable tonight, so it's really, he was well-deserved to take that win.
Well, we got so many more competitions out here. Of course, we will see Thomas Lemoyne in slopestyle, so he can shake up the point structure and the king of Crankworx overall. I've been your host, Cam McCall, alongside Andrew Needling and Michaela Gatto. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Dual Speed and Style.